There's often a discussion of whether or not zigzag cable systems are really effective at solving ice dam problems and stopping dangerous icicle formations. Today we're going to look at a few videos here that show both commercial style zigzag cables as well as the box store style zigzag cable systems and how they just are unable to really keep up at preventing ice dams and icicles, even though they're working and functioning. This first one was after a significant snowfall with a lot of moisture in it. You can see the system on, but the cables just aren't able to keep up. The icicles forming over the edge of the gutter, and at the inside corner where there's a valley, you can see the massive icicle hanging down, reaching all the way down to a first-story roof, where it's continuing to flow down that roof, where it's affecting gaining entry to the front door. That large icicle that's coming from the second story down to the first story as well can cause structural damage as it continues to form and expand. Here we see a zigzag cable system routing quite a bit up the roof, probably about 3 feet. But then as it's trailing down to the roof edge and the gutters, you can see the massive ice formation on the gutters themselves and the icicles dripping right down over the stairs that lead to this beautiful front entry. Look at a couple of shots on a bank here. You can see again the zigzag cable's on. You see the little tops of the peaks there, but where the gutter is, the massive ice formations that are growing there and the icicles making it dangerous for any of the customers that might be walking into the building. Here we'll look at a couple of business entries in a strip mall. Here we can see the heat cable system on, melting, but it's still, everything's just cascading over the front of the gutter, dripping down on the awning below. We can see that. And they're having to overly salt the sidewalk that runs along here. That salt ends up getting dragged into these businesses, and they're having to deal with that as well. And lastly, we have, this is a plug-in system. It's kind of a box store residential kind of cable, the thin round ones. And you can see here this massive icicle formation clinging to that heat cable. The heat cable's on. It just wasn't able to keep up. The ice formed around it, and now it's going to gradually melt through it. And in fact, this big ice formation dropped down. You can see it hit that light there. And it's actually an entrance to a business to their lower level. So quite a dangerous situation. So if zigzag cables aren't the answer, they just perform too poorly and are easily overwhelmed, what then is the answer? What is the solution? Well, here you see pictured edge melt systems, roof edge, the double cable eave panel, and the double cable valley panel performing wonderfully in difficult conditions. This home is in northern Wisconsin, get a lot of snow and a lot of cold temperatures, and yet the edge melt systems, eave and valley panels are able to keep up rather nicely. You can view all of our products at edgemeltsystems.com.